Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 5 of What If Naruto Lost Everything and Travel to the DC Universe. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform, and also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode over on Anime King of What If Naruto Died and returned as the agent of the Shinigami guys. And also guys, I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was the Fire Demigod over Anime King 3. And I also post a movie over Anime Prince, so go ahead and enjoy that guys. And if you're new, yes, I indeed have 4 channels: Anime King 2, Anime King 3, Anime King, and Anime Prince guys, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So without wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this new episode? Begin now guys. So the last spot we left off, Naruto was invited over for dinner at the Kents. Arriving there, Naruto saw that Superman was there as well. It turns out that the family already knew everything, as Naruto never knew that Superman would talk to them about such important league business, as Jonathan and Martha knew now that he was a superhero. They didn't seem to have a problem with that whatsoever. Why would they? If anything, it made them more happier, as this would be a chance for him to be with Kara as well. And there wouldn't be any problem if he knew about her secret identity, seeing that he would be able to protect himself as well. As they asked him a few questions, Naruto's bad childhood kind of brought up some bad memories, as Jonathan apologized for that. It didn't take long for Naruto to start his shift duty at the League. Arriving there, Naruto sat down with Martian Manhunter. Usually people didn't just come here to talk to him, so it was a fresh pace of change as Naruto sat down with him and they talked. As they got the alert, Naruto was sent out with Diana and the others as well, as this couldn't be just a coincidence. Arriving there, Naruto quickly handled his foe as the others handled theirs. However, a wave washed over the earth and all, well, adults were cast away to a different realm, as the kids were the only thing left behind. It turns out that it was a sorcerer's son that was doing this, and she had a way of fixing this. She turned all the Justice League members into kids. So with that, they traveled as they arrived towards his lair, as he sent some toys after them that was now extremely powerful, but they got to destroying all of them, until he banished them into a cell. A demon was there as it came out and quickly flocked Naruto's side. Batman and Superman wonder why the demon was so happy around Naruto. As they raised eyebrow into that, Naruto ended up using an explosive tag that he draw into the wall, setting it off with chakra boom, and destroy the hole as they made their way through. They got there as they rustled and tussled against the villain as they was able to get the amulet. Upon able receiving the amulet, the woman came as she reverted them back to their normal forms. Arriving back towards the League Tower, because Naruto had been reverted back to a normal child, the memories start to come back in his head. As the fox had to quickly intervene, we then had a flash of Naruto's life, upon how Kakashi had taken him under his wing, and then he had to be a part of a team as he was bringing 2 new members on, that being Sakura and also Sasuke as well. Everything flashed across Naruto's eyes, everything, the battle between Sasuke, the war, everything. Kurama was able to use the chakra inside Naruto, the nature engine, and he was able to use it to calm Naruto down. As Naruto thanked him for that, he ended up getting some sleep. The next morning, Naruto in his boxers walked towards the showers, which was something that caused all League members to look at him, several of the girls looking his way. As Naruto did not know about the protocol, so yeah, it was not his fault, he said. Once he was done though, when he returned to his room, he saw someone there. It was Dr. Fate as he asked to speak to him as he brought him to a location. There was another there. It turns out that the demon was a part of him. As Zatanna appear as well. They just want to know about the demon that was contained inside of Naruto. They knew about the power it contained and they fear the prospect of it coming out and causing real havoc to the world. As they could tell that the demon could wipe away this world with its power alone. However, Naruto assured them there was nothing to worry about, and besides, he had everything under control. They returned him back towards Leek's tower. However, Kara arrived. As she started to talk to him as Naruto made things worse for himself. She heard about his little incident with the showers this morning as Naruto ran, running away from her. As she chased after him, he told John to get the teleporter up as he sent him somewhere safe. As he sent him right towards the Bat Cave. As Batman shouted and get the hell out of here, as Kara could not find Naruto anywhere. It turns out that she was able to get her shift switched, so she could be on the same shift with Naruto. And yet, she come and find out about this, with him parading around in his underwear, and Naruto had to make a joke about it that made it so much worse for his case. However, he ran away, which is what he always did some of the times, when she wanted to cover him. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the playcheck to yourself, and also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other series of the other channels. Yes, I indeed have 4 of them guys, which I post what fun every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, check them out and enjoy guys. So without further ado, are wasting any more time, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode begin now guys? 2 legs were running as fast as possible. Heavy breathing could be heard. She watched him turn the corner as he tried to open the door. But his attempt was futile. The handle melted with a quick blast of heat vision, landing. Her tone was condescending. "What's with the running, Doc?" she said. "We both know how this is gonna turn out." "I did not tell anyone," the salt and pepper here man said, as he backed up. "I swear." "Good," she said. "Then, you will be the only loose end." That is when she heard the ready enough gun behind her. Turning, she saw 2 heavily armored men on the roof above her. Dodging a laser blast on the rifle, she used super speed to ascend to the roof. Taking the man gun, she brutally beat him over the head with it. Blood flying everywhere before. She pushed him off the roof. The second one blasted her repeatedly. She dodged the blast before she flied straight forward. She punched him right in the head. His head snapped back as it was a cracking sound. She released a sinister smile. She had to raise her hand as she saw 3 more mans with jetpack from above. She took to the skies as they chased after her. She turned as she released her heat vision, cutting one of them in half as she smiled, as 2 parts of him collapsed down to the ground. "Don't tell me that's the best you got," she asked in a mocking tone to the remaining 2. Both of them continued to fire at her, trying to take her down. "I grew tired of this," she said, as she flew forward. She smashed one of them right into a building. His jetpack exploded, leaving nothing but ashes. "And then there was one," she said. Using super speed, she appeared behind him. She grabbed his chin and top of his head as she snapped his head with a quick jerk, as a meat sack and a jetpack hit the building, exploding on contact. Using her hearing, she tracked her target down as she flew down there, ripping the door off the hinges. "Where are you, Doc?" she said. Her tone was sweet as she was enjoying this very much. Walking forward, the door opened up to show a machine with claws and green lance. It reached and grabbed her wrist, lifting her in the air. It slammed her in the wall. It tried to cut her with a saw. She grabbed the saw and ripped it off and threw it back into it. "That wasn't very nice, Doc," she said. The man from before was cowering in the corner. He knew there will be no mercy. "You can scream now if you want," she said as her eyes light up, before she fired the blast. Kara screamed as she threw the covers off herself. Clutching her legs to her chest, she held onto herself tight. Taking a deep breath, she looked up, trying to clear her mind. "That can't be good," she said, seeing the smoldering holes punched through her ceiling. "Kara, are you alright?" Martha shouted, running into the room with her robe on. Jonathan followed shortly after, shotgun in hand. He may not have superpowers like his son or niece, but he was dead on with his shotgun. Plus, it helped when you had buckshot. "What happened, sweetie?" Martha said, holding the girl as she sat on the bed. Kara shook her head as she leaned further into the hole. I don't know." Jonathan smelled something burning as he looked up to the ceiling. "Well, whatever it was, it caused your power to act up." Kara nodded. "I'm really scared, Pop," she said. Jonathan nodded as he left. "Everything gonna be alright, dearie. He's probably calling Clark." Kara nodded her head, still in shock by the dream. It felt so real. I enjoyed killing them. It felt so disgusted. As Jonathan returned a short while after, Clark wasn't home, but I left him a message. She nodded. Do you mind if I fly around for a bit? Just to clear my mind. Jonathan wanted to say no, but Martha beat him to it. Just for a bit, dear, she said. Just be careful, okay? Kara nodded as she flew through the window. Why did you agree to that, Martha? Shouldn't we keep her here until Clark comes? Martha walked to her husband and gave him a kiss on the lips. Jonathan, she said. As a husband and a father, I couldn't ask for a better man. But right now she needs someone that cares for her, more than the three of us. He raised an eyebrow. If you're talking about who I think you are, my response, if they are not together. Yet, said Martha as she patted him on the cheek. They're not together yet. Meanwhile, it did not take Kara long to land in front of Naruta's door. As she knocked, I hope he heard this, she said. However, after a few seconds, there was nothing she could hear inside moving. So she turned, as cold steel pressed up against her throat. A few seconds earlier, Naruto was resting in the closet while he was on the watchtower. He slept in a bed, but he could never feel truly safe or get fully restful. To keep his sensory up, he had to do that while he slept in the watchtower. But when he was in the safety of his home, he had his seals, everything activated. As he heard the seal go off, as Naruto quickly got out, holding his kunai as he made his way. As he was at the back door, as Naruto jumped through the window, crawling like a deadly assassin, silent as he moved, as he saw an intruder, flashing behind the person Naruto pressed his kunai against her throat. However, the intruder turned around as he saw who it was. As the person was looking to leave. Kara-chan, he said. What are you doing here? And in your nightgown, he said. Do you mind lowering the blade, she said. She was actually scared that he snuck up on her, and all she could see was a hand with the blade at her throat. As Naruto lowered the blade and stepped into the moonlight. I'm really sorry about that, Kara-chan, said Naruto, feeling a bit ashamed that she had to see the side of him. But I gotta ask once more. What are you doing here, said Naruto. Do you mind if we talk inside, she asked. As Naruto could tell that something was wrong. She was tense and biting her lips. Her eyes held nothing but fear and worry. Pressing a hand seal to his door, the door opened as Naruto allowed them to enter. Motioning for her to take a seat, Naruto grabbed a teapot and started to fill it with water. As he turned on the stove and placed a fill pot on it, so, what's going on, he said. That has you here this late, out of uniform. She told him of the dream, how real it felt, how disgusted she felt for killing them, but enjoying it. The way she talked about it, it almost feel like Naruto cut off grandma. Like my clones, said Naruto. Exactly, like my clones. Naruto grabbed the pot off the burner and turned it off, as he poured the water over the leaf. I have a feeling what it might be. However, I would like you to speak to John and see what he has to say. In the meantime, he says, he handed her the tea. As he took her hand, let's enjoy some nice tea, and Jerry Springer. As he flipped on the TV, Kara smiled as she joined him. When did you get a TV, she said, not remembering before his rotation started a month ago. 2 days ago. Felt like I needed something else to do, now that the crops are pretty much all grown. She pulled her feet under her and laid her head on his shoulder. You know all of this is staged, right, she said, not noticing that he tensed a bit. Yeah, I do, said Naruto. I told you she liked you, said Grandma. That is why she got her rotation switch. That is why she invited you to dinner with her family. That is why she's here tonight. At night she had a terrible dream, and not with her family. But no. Does anyone ever listen to the mighty Kyuubi? No, he said. As Naruto responded to Kara. But to give good entertainment. As he then responded to the Kyuubi. Shut up, you overgrown ball of fur, said Naruto. We're just good friends. His face took on a bit of a blushing vibes. Are you trying to convince me of that? Or yourself, said Grandma. Naruto did not have a response to that question. Kara sighed she enjoyed the warmth that she was feeling being next to Naruto. This is nice, she thought, snuggling closer to him. Meanwhile, Clark has just finished bringing in one of his rogues after rescuing Lois from the jaws of death once again. I am starting to see why Bruce won't date anyone, Clark muttered to himself. He knew that without a shadow of a doubt that Lois Lane loved him and he loved her. However, he was aware that once the relationship is made public, she would be in more danger than before. Hell, I can't even believe there was more danger than what she already put herself in. as he stripped off his uniform before grabbing his PJs, but he noticed his message machine was flashing. It was 5 in the morning as he pressed play. As he started to walk off to the kitchen to grab a bite. You have one new message, left at 3:30 a.m. Clark, it's your father. Whatever he was about to made never got made. As his head whipped around, Kara had a nightmare. It caused her power to act up and she shot a hole through the roof with her heat vision. We don't think it was anything major, but we wanted you to come by and check on her. Faster than he thought possible, he was back in his uniform and flying through his window. Once he was high enough above Metropolis, he hit supersonic. As he touched down 30 minutes later, Ma, Pa, he called out, walking into the house. Both parents been raised on farms before, becoming farmer themselves. Or was already up, tending to things. Ah, there you are, son. How are you, said Martha. I'm fine, Ma, he said. But where's Kara? Is she alright? Clark was worried. He had never had a dream that caused his power to act up. This could be something serious. She's fine, dear, Martha said. She asked for some time to herself and flew out, right after we called you. Clark nodded. Is she upstairs? I'll wake her up and take her to John in the watchtower. He should be able to figure out something. No, Jonathan said, coming back from the field. As he heard the last of Clark's question, your mother said that she was probably going to see Naruto, and based on how long she's gone, I am inclined to agree. Clark's eyes narrowed rather dangerously, extremely not happy that his last blood relative went over to a boy's house in the middle of the night. A boy that could actually hurt her, while her powers were acting up. That did not sit well with him. Turning and ready to storm out of the house, he was stopped. Clark Kent. Martha said, raising her voice, something she never did. You will allow your 19-year-old cousin her privacy while she's with the boy she has a crush on. Surprised by his mother's tone, he fought back. Ma, he's dangerous. Remember? I told you about his past after dinner. He's a killer. He has been an assassin since he was 5 years old. How can you be so calm about this? He's a good man, Clark. And while he might have been an assassin once, that was in his own world, where you also told us they're fighting force. These shinobis were also soldiers. They did more than just killed. That doesn't make what he did right. Clark snapped at his father. He's a killer. Why does everyone... However, he never get to finish. A resounding slap filled the home, as both father and Clark turned to see Martha, after she just slapped her son. Then your father's one too, she said. Or did you forget that he fought for this country in the Korean and Vietnam War, she said, as she then hugged her son. I'm sorry for that, Clark, she said. For 35 years, we've raised you as our own son, and loved you as our own. Stepping back, she smiled at him. You have grown into a fine man, one who protects this world from threats that we would be helpless against. But you have never been to war like your father has been to. As she smiled one last time before leaving the two of them. She's right, you know. As he poured himself a glass of sweet tea. When we were over there, it was not pretty, son. I haven't talked about it in quite some time and I'm still not comfortable with it. Taking a sip, he gave his son a look. We had our orders and we did what we had to do. Naruto is a fine young man, one that's a lot like you. Do not hate him for his past. He walked and placed a hand on his shoulder. Instead, guide him to a new future. In the meantime, I have crops that need tending to. With his piece, said Jonathan, left the kitchen. Clark stood uneasy on his feet. I never thought of it like that before, he thought to himself, realizing that his parents and Lantern was right. I have been treating him poorly, he thought, as he left the house with a flight towards Naruto's. He found Naruto drinking in the back porch, a glass in hand. So, said Naruto, I take it you heard. Yeah. How's she doing? Pretty good considering what the dream was. However, before he could even invite him in, Kara stuck her head through the door, not noticing her cousin. As she spoke, how is it even possible to bend that way? Then she noticed Clark there with a raised eyebrow, and Naruto sweating bullets. What you reading, Kara? He said, noticing that she was holding an orange book of some kind. Oh, nothing, she said, nothing at all, as she sticky behind herself. Well, if you want to come back to the farm and get dressed, so we can head to the watchtower, he said, noticing that she was still in her nightgown. Yeah, sure. Just give me a minute, she said as she rushed back in. Clark turned back towards Naruto. Do I even want to know what she was reading? Naruto shrugged his shoulders, figuring that was going to be the best he got. They waited in silence until Clark spoke. You know, he said, I had every intention of making a rash decision when I found out. She came over here at 3 in the morning. It would have ended badly, said Naruto. Clark raised the eyebrow. How so, he said. Naruto pointed towards his closed door. She would have had more than words with you. Clark mulled that over in his head. I guess you're right. I will be coming with you to the watchtower, he said. Why? This isn't your concern, said Clark, still a bit jaded by Naruto. If it is what I think it might be, you will need my help. Also, it is my concern. She's not only my friend, she brought this to my attention, making it my concern, said Naruto. Both kept on waiting until Kara came out, clutching 2 orange books with her. Alright, let's get back, she said as she floated off. As Clark floated off as well. As Naruto strolled behind them, she glanced back towards him. Aren't you gonna change out of that, she said. Why, said Naruto, finding nothing wrong with his current attire. Because, Clark said, you're wearing frog-printed pajama pants and a muscle shirt. Toads, said Naruto. They are toad-printed, and I see no problem with them. Shrugging, the 3 of them continued on. It didn't take long for her to get dressed, and they were beamed to the watchtower. John asked both Clark and Naruto to take over the watchtower while he spoke to Kara. And that is where you find the 2 heroes, looking over all the sensors the watchtower had to find out problems. You know, if you keep on looking at me like that, Lois might get jealous, said Naruto. Very funny, said Clark. So, you gonna talk, or are you gonna keep making me question your sexuality? When we first met, Clark said after a pause, it wasn't under the best circumstances. I found out this guy never heard of is in Metropolis, and then I learned you kill people. It wasn't the best way to present yourself, as he was trying to find the right way to say things. But Naruto beat into it, and people has pointing things out to you. But you still don't like me, however. It's no longer due to my past. Correct, said Clark. I can't control what you did in the past, or even begin to understand what your Earth was like. But I don't like the fact that you're so close to my cousin, and can hurt her, more than just emotionally. You're speaking about when we spar and I injure you, said Naruto. Clark nodded. You don't have to like me, said Naruto. However, I refuse to be treated like a child, or some wet behind the ears rookie. I have seen and done things that would make Batman look like a saint, and you already have enough friction with him. As Naruto reminded him of Batman's plan in case the League ever went rogue, and the incident with the Legion of Doom. You're right, but teammates need to have trust, and I do not trust you. Not yet still, but I understand. We can rely on you. Then that's all I ask for. Trust is earned, not given, said Naruto. It wasn't much longer until John and Kara returned, as John asked to speak to Clark. So, said Naruto, what did John say? She looked around as she saw. Hey, Mr. Terrific, can you watch a monitor, she said, till John get back. Sure can, little lady, he said. She grabbed Naruto's hand. I'm hungry, so let's get something to eat. As they grabbed some stuff until they saw Green Arrow looking towards Canary. You know, said Naruto, if you keep on staring at her like that, you might just burn a hole right through her. Haha, very funny, Oliver said. So, I'm not ruining a date by sitting here, am I? Aren't we the ones that sat down with you, said Kara. Semantics, he said, waving off her question. Anyway, I got placed on the inactive roster until John can find out more about this dream I had. Dream? Arrow asks. Kara elaborated to him what happened. It just felt so real. As Naruto placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. Dreams can do that, Oliver said, glancing towards Canary once again. Like I had this one last night, he said as he started to eat some of his fries. The 2 of them sitting with him rolled their eyes. I think it's more than just a dream, said Naruto. Kara turned towards him. What do you think it is then? Kara asked. As Naruto acted like he knew what it was early this morning, so she was curious. Repressed memories, or something else, but I really hope it's repressed memories, said Naruto. The other occupants wait for him to continue, until a new voice got in. I would agree, with a blonde on that. They turned to see Questen standing there. Sorry, didn't mean to eavesdrop. Yeah, right, Kara and Oliver said, neither of them liking Questen that much. Why do you 2 think that? Kara asked the conspiracy nut and her friend. For one, the dream was too lingering. You had lingering feelings towards the dream. You didn't just imagine killing someone. You felt it, like you were there. That actually scared Kara a lot, to think that she actually killed someone. That's what John said. But I mean, when could I have killed anyone? Simple. There's one time that you could have, where no one could recall. One gap that could be rewritten, Questen said. He motioned for them to follow him as they got out of the mess hall. When you needed surgery, you were taken to Star Labs. Most of the time there, they kept you sedated. That is a large gap in your memories. Yeah, right, Arrow said, trying to be the voice of reason. All this dream is just a calling card, trying to tell her not to eat nachos in bed. Before bed, that is. Peanut butter sandwiches, Questen said, without hesitation. What? Do you go through my trash? Said Kara. How the hell did you know what she eats? Before bed. Please. I go through everyone's trash, he said, as he swiped his card opening his door. As he then turned towards Naruto. Would you mind throwing things out so I can look through it, he said. 1. That's a really creepy question to ask, and 2. No, said Naruto. Reaching back to ancient Egypt, there has been a single cabal of powerful people directing the course of history. But the common man chose to believe that they don't exist, which aids them to their success. Questen said, pointing toward his board. The other 3 just gave him a look. I understand plenty about shadow government, said Naruto. However, as Naruto saw the wall, he was very doubtful. Coffee bars? Boy bands? Really? Said Naruto. Questen nodded. What does this have to do with me? Said Kara. Questen left his room as he headed towards the teleporter. If I'm right, you're a part of it. You're gonna need my help. I'm coming with, he said. Whoa, who said we need you? Said Aru. And where are we going? Star Lab, said Naruto. It's the only place that, Kara-chan, has a gap in our memories. Kara turned towards Naruto. Are you finally gonna change? He asked. A tattoo appeared on his arm. Poof! He was in his costume. Always be prepared. You sound like Batman, Aru said. As he reached the teleporter. John, please send us to Star Lab, said Naruto. Nodding. John sent them away. The 4 heroes could be seen standing outside of Star Lab facility. They were meeting with Professor Hamilton about Supergirl staying in their facility. This is where we treated you. You were on life support. The whole time, and heavily sedated, I might add. Hamlet placed a hand on Kara's shoulder. I promise you, you weren't running around on violent missions. While Hamlet was speaking with her, Naruto and Questen was looking around at some of the equipments. Questen was listening the whole time. However, Naruto tuned him out as a particular machine caught his eye that looked a lot like the machine Orochimaru used to steal Kiki Genkai. Kurama told him. I agree, said Naruto as he memorized the serial number, but I'll need Batman's help to confirm it. Well then, Professor Hamilton, Questen spoke up. Maybe you can explain why her memories lead her here. I think I can explain, he says. He turned towards Supergirl. You mentioned some kind of torture device with a long probe and green tip. Yes, Professor, she said. Hamilton moved away from them as they followed after him, as she was shown a robot. That's it, she said. It was one in her dream, but it's smaller. Why is it smaller? Because it's not a torture device. It's a surgical robot, he says. The robot moved forward. That's a kryptonite. Tip Lance. It was the only way to operate on you. As she sent the robot back in the closet, that robot saved your life. As for the rest of your dream, we humans are used to being vulnerable. However, for you, surgery must have seemed terribly invasive, he said. Once again trying to comfort her, he lay a hand on her shoulder. I believe that your mind created a scenario, trying to fight back. The 4 left the building, as Aru was the first one to speak up. So I think that answered everything. A little too well, said Questen. As Aru was about to spoke up until Naruto speak for him. It didn't answer a damn thing, said Naruto, as he sounded rather angry. What do you mean, Shinobi? Kara said. Had what he said been true, the man in her dream would have been him, not some damn stranger. Also, there wouldn't have been armed guards. Explain then how she killed a guy in her dream. And why did she even have it, Aru said. However, before anything else could be said, they were attacked. 2 military choppers came around, one with a robot attached to the bottom of it. The robot propelled itself right at Supergirl, knocking her away from the other 3. As they scatter as bullets start to rain down. As a chopper landed, men start to rush out with laser rifles. As Aru hid behind a boulder as Naruto weave and dodge. Questen made a handstand Green Arrow, who nodded and pulled a smoke arrow. Launching it in the air, it exploded over the man. They started to spread out as Oliver leaped over the boulder and fired an electric arrow right into one of their guns, causing him to drop as his muscles locked up. A right hook to the face knocked him out. 2 of the others came around the other side when one, in the front, was picked off his feet. Questen brutally punched him before smacking him over the head. As the other one moved in, he noticed his grenade belt was missing, until Questen dropped it along with the removed pins. Grabbing his comrade, he rushed out of the area, seconds before the explosion. Meanwhile, Naruto was bored. Fighting these men were like fighting a civilian. Why aren't we allowed to kill again, said Grandma. Because it would be troublesome to deal with the League. But we might kill something before the day is out, said Naruto as he was growing, tired of them. As Naruto saw places the rock appearing behind them, as he grabbed their guns, before smacking them over the head with their rifles. The other two tried to hit him as Naruto ducked, and came up with an upper punch, knocking him out. The other one tried to attack Naruto with his fist, which was really stupid as Naruto picked him up by his face, and slammed him into the ground unconscious. Man, this is really boring, he said. As for Kara, she kicked the robot away, as she landed a few solid jabs on it. It was not created for the abuse as it started to spark up. Flying forward with super speed, she landed a brutal uppercut, finishing it off. Oliver launched an explosive arrow, taking one of the choppers out, while the men all piled into the other one and escape, grabbing the 4 downed men in front of him. Tell me why can't we let those bozo live? Naruto said a bit annoyed, because they were definitely kill worthy. They ain't. No supervillain or thugs. That was military. You know why, Shinobi, Kara said, as she was a bit upset at him wanting to kill them. How do you know they were military, Ara asked. They were well grouped and they had a plan. Most of the villains you guys run into was never that well linked, nor do they care that much about their comrades. And there is no way that they could have the gears that these guys have if they were some run-of-the-mill thugs. Nor a standard Z8 combat trainer, Questen said, looking towards the robot. What does all this mean, Kara said, even more confused than before. Yeah, why would someone attack us with something that we buy in bulk? Aro said. The army, Questen said. And you know who commissioned the Z8 project? Without waiting for them to question, he spoke up. The man who put you in the hospital, Supergirl. General Hardcastle? She was surprised that the man had access to this stuff. Isn't he retired now, she said. Gone, said Questen, and hoping to be forgotten. John, can you bring us back up, Kara said. Will do, Kara. As the 4 returned to the watchtower, I have his current location in my room. Say Questen, follow me, and we will have his location. However, Kara noticed Naruto was still standing on the teleporter. John, is Batman currently in the Batcave? As John checked with the Dark Knight, before responding, yes he is. Send me down, said Naruto, causing 3 of the group to raise their eyebrow at that. Why do you need to go there, Questen said, curious, as he wondered what did he find at Star Labs. A hunch, said Naruto. As there was no more questions as Naruto turned and gave the Martian a nod, as he was gone. What was that about? Said Kara. My guess, said Questen as he started to walk to his room. He saw something at Star Labs that we all miss and needs Batman to help figure it out. Makes sense, Aro said. But what could that have been? Who knows, but following up on 2 different leads could be a good idea. Divide and conquer, right, said Kara. I wouldn't put it like that, he said, opening his laptop. But yes, said Questen, as he typed away. Here we are. Oklahoma. Way back in the middle of nowhere, as he headed towards the door, the other 2 following. Meanwhile, Shinobi, Batman said, what did you need my help with? He saw a pen and a pad by the computer as he wrote something down and handed it to Batman. I need to know if that machine is a DNA replicator, said Naruto. His tone was 100 business. Batman typed away rather quickly. Might I ask what this is in regarding to? You know exactly what it is, said Naruto. I do. But why did this machine lead you here, while the attack led the others to Hardcastle? The attack was set up to send us there. Military equipment attacking us right after we leave Star Labs. The place Hardcastle put Kara in. It doesn't add up to him attacking, especially if he hates Superman and Supergirl so much. Bruce nodded. He wouldn't risk using her as a Black Ops weapon, as it suddenly all clicked in his mind, but Naruto cut him off. Yes. How do you figure? And what do you plan to do about it then, said Batman, as he turned his full gaze towards Naruto. You have your rules, Shinobi. No killing. I figured out almost instantly. I have a psychic link to my clones. Whatever they learn, I learn, said Naruto. Everything they do I experience. They created a copy of her to be a living weapon for them, mostly in case any of you go rogue, I guess. They targeted her because she's one of the younger League members, and they thought she was one of the only one that can match Superman. As Naruto's eyes narrowed dangerously at Bruce. Besides, I won't be killing anyone, said Naruto. That is a dangerous loophole to try and use, said Batman. This coming from the man that killed all of Ivy's precious babies when they try to marry high society individuals and take their fortunes. Once again, I feel need to remind you, I read up on you, all of you. Do not forget the news picks up quite a lot of adventures you guys have been on, said Naruto. They were not alive. Yes, they were alive, said Naruto, cutting him off. They had thoughts, free will, and even dreams. Yes, they were created artificially, but it does not change the fact they were alive and you killed them. As I said before, your hands are not as clean as you believe. That caused Batman to falter as he decided to end the conversation, as he turned towards the computer, as he pulled up the machine after an awkward silence. You're right. It is a DNA replicator. How do you know? I traded it to our village. Its poison dream to learn all of the jutsus in the world and live forever had a machine that looked very similar to this one. As Batman continued to track down the origins. Meanwhile, how do we even know that he's home, Ara asks, as the trio approach a small cottage. Simple, we find out, said Questen as he opened the door and stepped inside, as the other two flanking him in case the meeting went south. The lights were off, except for a small fire going in the fireplace. I always knew someone would come to shut me up one day. Just I thought they would be from the other side. The light switched on as they found Hardcastle pointing an odd-looking gun looking towards Supergirl. It fired a pellet with kryptonite suspended into a liquid gel, he said, raising it higher. It'll only get one shot, but it's designed for maximum scatter alien. I think it will do the trick. Kara's eyes widened at the description of the weapon, shocked that the government would go this far to kill her or her cousin. Look, we just want to talk, she said. Forgive me if I don't believe you, he said, not lowering the weapon. If my memory serves me right, your kind can be rather fickle. Oliver stepped in front of her. Go ahead, waste your magic bullets. Then all you got left is a pissed off Supergirl. Seeing that he faltered for a second, Questen knocked the gun away. As Oliver moved in and grabbed his arm. Now be a good host and tell us a story. Time skip, new virgin, Batman said. They were the ones who were sent to Star Labs on Star Lab requests. What does New Virgin specialize in, said Naruto, already having some idea. They specialize in bioweapons for the government currently. They've been black ruled for some big black op project. If it black ops, how did you find out, said Naruto. All these fund transfers, said Batman. There's no reason behind them, just money shows up on the books. The only way the government will overlook that, it will have to be IRS, back funds. That makes sense, said Naruto. John, bring me up. It will be a moment, Naruto, John responded back. You are still planning to do this then, Batman said. Whoever created it wanted a living weapon, said Naruto. I'll show them what a true living weapon is capable of doing, he said, as he was whisked away by the teleporter. Meanwhile, after a Superman attack, I was shut out. The feeling in the Pentagon was, I had failed. When it counted the most, I took the message and filed for early retirement. But make no mistake, we had a file on each and every one of you, even before you turn yourself into an army. What? Why, said Kara. Your cousin, for instance. What happened if you go rogue again? Or if any of you go rogue? We wouldn't stand a chance, as he got up and grabbed the glass filled with liquid and drank it. Big business and the government has been in cahoots forever now. Experimenting on metahumans, creating weapons, just in case your little party turn on us. But I have no idea where this dream came from, or what could be causing it. I've been out of the loop for too long. I'm sorry, he said, as he lowered his head, still ashamed for some of the things that he'd done. Kara nodded as she turned to leave before she paused. I'm sorry for what Superman did, she said, as he raised his head to look at her. And I'm sorry you lost your job. I know that some people fear us, but we're trying to do good. With her piece said, they left and had John beat them up. As they headed back, I need more time to think on this, said Questen. What is there to process? It was just a bad dream. There are things not adding up. Pieces from the puzzle missing. You're right. They turn. Jeez. Don't scare us like that, Oliver said. And Shinobi has figured out what it was, said Bruce, throwing a folder on Questen's table. One of the machines at Star Lab was a DNA replicator. He figured out after seeing it. You did not have repressed memories, but those of a clone, psychically linked to you. What? Kara said, as she felt violated and dirty. Who could have done that? Why would they do that? New Virgin. A few years ago they were bankrolled for an operation under the government funds. Right after Superman attack on Earth, Questen answered the remaining piece, a weapon, if it happened again. And they've been using it to take care of other problems. Yes, Batman said. So what are we gonna do about the clone? Supergirl said, not sure what to do. We're going to do nothing. And what I'm about to tell you, do not leave this room. Shut the door. Oliver shut the door. Naruto is engaged in a clone. His cold tone said it all. He was not going to just engage it. He was going to kill it. You sent him to kill a copy of Kara. Are you out of your mind? Oliver yelled. Bruce did not even look at him. As he was looking at Kara, he made this decision long before it even came to me. He knew from the very moment you told him what happened. He was just hoping that he was wrong. How did he know? She said. He retained a psychic link to all of his clones. He learned what they learn. He knew what they do. From what I guess, the link started small. Neither her or you noticing, but it grows over time. And now it's spilling over, Arrow said, knowing that Batman was not one to joke. Yes, said Batman. And Naruto has gone to deal with it, because at some point, she would be ordered to kill you. The link goes both ways. She was getting my conscience. It was becoming harder to do her job, Kara said. As Bruce nodded his head, do you really think that he can do this? I've seen these two interact, and I know they're not a couple yet. But it won't be for much longer. He can, Kara said, cutting off Bruce. She was not embarrassed to what Oliver said about them going to soon be a couple. He hasn't told me much, but from what I know, he's gonna kill the clone. He's done something similar. She looked up with unshed tears in her eyes. What's gonna happen to him? She said. That is the reason what is spoken in here can never reach a league, especially Superman. His relationship with Naruto is shaky at best. Knowing that he can actually kill him would not sit well with him. Not to mention he's killing something that looked like me as we speak, said Kara, tears starting to fall down her face. Meanwhile, several guards were laid out unconscious outside, as the door was literally ripped off the hinges, as Naruto could be seen walking deeper in the lab. Well. She was expecting him. She was wearing a white leotard with a hole cut just above her breasts. Same platinum blonde hair cut into a short bob. Same eyes, but hers had a sinister look. The same look that reminded Naruto of Sasuke. I thought that bitch would be coming for me, but instead of killing her, I get to kill her boyfriend. What a surprise. Naruto pulled a kunai out as he channeled wind chakra into it, creating a sword. Rushing forward, she ducked underneath and tried to hit him with her shoulder. As Naruto quickly switched with a chair, the chair was destroyed against her shoulder. As Naruto came back up as he brought the blade up to split her right in half, she flipped away as she was now in mid-air. Can't get me up here, loser, she said, as she then tried to blast him with her heat vision. As Naruto rushed towards the wall and ran up it with the beams hot on his trail, reaching the ceiling, he ran straight towards her. The two began a dance of death in the air, one floating, the other one using the ceiling. Trying for a horizontal slash once more, she dodged before she punched him in the ribs, breaking quite a few. However, Naruto did not stop as he flashed two hand signs, as he brought his hand up to his mouth, wind style, as he fired small, deadly wind bullets towards her. Due to their smaller size, they traveled much faster than the ones that he used against Green Lantern. All five made impact and blast her out of the air as she slammed into a desk. As she got back to her feet, Naruto burst off the ceiling, bringing the blade down to her shoulder. She was able to avoid the full impact, but he was able to cleave a large gash from her shoulder down to her hip. Not bad for a human. Also, you're aiming to kill me. Not very hero-like. My name is Galatia, and I can offer you a lot more than that stuck-up, horse-humping slut. She smiled sinisterly. I could hook you up with my people and we could ruin that shit of a tower. What do you say, lover boy? I'm going to remove you and your pathetic existence from this world, said Naruto. He rushed towards her, however she used her super breath. He brought his hand up, but he never expected to be that strong. He was thrown back as he slammed against the wall. She flew and slammed right into his stomach, breaking him through the wall into another room. Such a shame, really, she thought. He would be knocked out as she walked towards him slowly. We could have been great together. As she reached him and grabbed him by the collar, as she smirked, I bet this will send her over the edge. However, his eyes snapped open, surprising her. A ball of chakra gathered in his palm. Rasengan. He grinded in her stomach, blasting her away. That was pretty sneaky, she said, picking herself up, her outfit torn and barely covering her, blood leaking from the many torn up cuts in her stomach. She launched her heat vision towards him as he rolled and jumped out of the way. She punched wild, destroying, swinging, as she started to gather up her heat vision, while punching after him as Naruto ducked and dodged. but she was able to burn right through his shoulder as Naruto's left arm faltered for a bit, as she overpowered him and slammed a knee right into his kidney. The wind knocked out of him. Naruto jumped back. "You're a lot more durable than I thought. Maybe I'll take you on a ride before I kill you," she said. "And you're a lot better than taijutsu than I thought," said Naruto. "Come on, Kurama," said Naruto. "I need my shoulder back in this." "It won't be ready in time. Use it," said Kurama. Naruto gathered chakra into his right hand. "Hand to hand, you mean," she said. "Of course I am. Unlike that bitch, I was actually trained in close quarter combat. It shows, however." "I grow tired of this talking," said Naruto. As his hand was glowing blue, poof, 2 clones appear at his sides. She watched as he created one of those things that damage her stomach. However, this time there was a sound as she grabbed her ears, the screeching affecting her as she saw him, with blurry vision creating one of those things. However, this time, it was massive. As Naruto held the thing down when the clones poofed away, the Rasen shuriken, as Galatia realized that she might actually die. She brought her arms up though as Naruto moved with inhumane speeds and slammed it. "This is nothing," she said. "I'll show you." As she tried to push it back until Naruto released the full force of the Rasen shuriken. All she knew was agonizing pain. However, once it was done, she didn't feel anything. "I guess it was all for show," she said. As she tried to move. Why can't I move?" The Rasen shuriken doesn't damage you alone. It cuts all the nerve to the body. It decimates chakra pathways. She was a mess, cut and torn all over her body. As she looked up, as she saw slitted red eyes looking down towards her. "How?" she said. "How could you use something like that against me?" she asked. "You mean because you look like Kara-chan?" "Because when I look into her eyes I find peace. The peace that I've been looking so hard for. I feel like I've been given a chance for something more than death. Yours just begged for death. Like someone else I used to know." As Naruto pulled the kunai out and brought it down, the light slowly left her eyes, the wind chakra and the kunai ending everything. As Naruto walked, placing explosion seals with wind chakra, as her body was destroyed. Naruto pressed his arm to his earpiece. "John, pick me up. Also, prep the med bay," said Naruto. Arriving, the heroes paused. They saw one of their heroes bleeding, blood dropping from him. John rushed over and steadied him. "Do I even want to know?" "If you do, take it up with Batman," said Naruto. On their short trip, John sent out a mental link to Batman, Supergirl, Green Arrow and Question. "Oh my god." Naruto said Kara. She rushed forward, however John stopped her. As the Watchtower doctors helped Naruto in the bed. "Has it been taken care of?" Batman asked Naruto. As Naruto nodded. "He just got back from a task, one that you sent him on. And that's all you care about?" Arrow said, pissed at Batman's lack of concern for their new member. "Yes," said Batman, knowing that John was in the room. "It was a mission I sent him on for the League. I'm going to take enough crap from the other senior members, sending him alone. I need to make sure that it was done," the Dark Knight said, covering for all a mistake. In front of John, Kara stepped towards one of the doctors. "Is he gonna be alright?" "I'll be fine, Kara-chan," said Naruto. However, she glared at him. "I'm not asking you, you idiot. I'm asking the doctor," she said, her tone shaky and worried. "He will be fine, Supergirl. His healing factor that John has reported is already kicking in, and he shall be fine by tomorrow." As she breathed a sigh of relief hearing that. But guys, we end episode right here. If you want to see the next person do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. And also guys, I posted 2 movies over Anime Prince, so go ahead check those out. I posted a brand new series over at Anime King, so go ahead and check that out as well guys. What if Naruto died and returned as the Shinigami emissary of sorts? So go ahead and check that out guys. And also I posted a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was the Demigod of Fire, so go ahead, check that out and enjoy as well guys. And remember, for new, yes I need 4 channels. 4 channels that I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy, so go ahead and smash that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So without further ado and wasting more time, what do you say we jump right out of here? See you guys soon. Peace guys.